Right, so Apple just released iPadOS 26 instead of 19. This is the biggest, it's 2030 now, or the biggest I need help I might have ever seen in my life. There are a few key features like the new apps on iPad, or the Siri upgrades, or iMessages, a lot of things. But I took the most important things out of this that you will use or are going to be forced to use, like liquid glass. Let's dive right in and see the world that Apple has brought in this 19th, that's also the 26th update. Let's start with something light. The Messages app. Messages in the past year has been where you text. Yeah, sure, there are other messaging softwares like WhatsApp or Google Chat, but the main one has been iMessage. This year, it got a crazy revamp, adding time to count, iMessage polls, iMessage Apple Pay, iMessage group chat, DMs, wallpapers, and more features that I probably can't count right now. The main features I like are wallpapers and polls. Wallpapers is like WhatsApp. You can attach a wallpaper to your thing, so you don't have the plain black background you always get. But Apple's way of doing it is that everybody in the conversation has the same background. So if you forget the name of a group chat, for example, your group chat's background is red. Imagine just telling to your friend, text in the red group chat. They understand you. Oh my gosh, life-changing. Then they have polls. You know, like when you're trying to plan something when you're with your friends, all right? There's two options, pizza or bowling. And everyone's just spamming pizza, bowling. And you're manually tallying things like it's a school group project. You can finally attach polls into iMessages. So everyone can just click an option, boom, they voted for it. And for your more picky friends, you can even add choices to it. Yeah, sure, WhatsApp has already had this for way too many years, but Apple finally did it, and I'm excited about it, and Alright, now we're getting serious. Multitasking on iPadOS 26 is finally usable. We now have proper floating windows. You can move them, minimize them, make them bigger, put them into split screen, whatever you want. You can even turn them into little floating hills. And it's actually smooth. No more clunky split views that make you want to abandon the iPad entirely. And we no longer have the little blob that grabs onto things like it's his last day. We have a proper mouse pointer. I know, Apple, my gosh, a time traveler moved a rock, and Apple decided to make an actual mouse. This mouse still clings onto things, but not as much as our little blob friend. I'm gonna call him Mike. So, this new pointer is so nice in this new multitasking thing, since you can click with accuracy, move with accuracy, and do with accuracy. This mouse pointer might have been the most life-changing thing in my iPad career. And now we have the menu bar. You heard me right, the menu bar. Apple has put a literal menu bar on iPads. Is this a Mac or an iPad anymore? This menu bar has everything you need to do anything. It's just the same as a Mac's without the Apple logo. I just love it. Move your mouse or your finger to the top of the screen. It comes down of the screen, floats down. Your options, beautiful. Apple also casually decided to drop 4 new apps. And those 4 new apps, Journal, Phone, Games, and Preview. Let's start. Journal, first app. You can now log your thoughts on iPad. It's like the Notes app, but it actually cares about it. It reminds you every day to log your thoughts. You can write things like here. You could use it as a Notes app. This has been on the iPhone for about a year now, and I'm actually pretty glad that it finally came to iPad. The next app, Phone, is the exact same phone you use on your phone. The iPad was initially only able to take FaceTimes since the iPad only has an Apple ID linked up to it, not an actual number. But now that we have the phone app, you can take phone calls by linking your phone to your iPad. If you comment how many times I said phone, I will be happy. So now you don't need to grab your phone to take your phone calls. And you can take your phone calls on the phone app on iPad. Ring, ring! Oh. Games. Let's get into games. Just got a huge update. There is now a central hub for all your games. The app Games. Whatever games you play, they will be here. You can friend your friends on games and challenge them. They have these little challenge things where you can compete with your friends to see who's the best in a specific game without opening any third-party software. And if you have no game to choose from, come here and you can view new games. My last app and my favorite app by far, Preview. It's the exact same preview on Mac. One thing, you can only get photos from Files, the app Files. And if someone sends you an e-signature, you can sign it with the Preview app. It's a Files user's dream come true on iPad. And now, Apple Intelligence, or as I like to call it, ChatGPT wearing a really fancy tuxedo. This is what I mean. Apple Intelligence, Apple's key selling point to most of their products, their AI that is supposedly the best Apple AI is nothing but a glowing rim. Siri has been Siri. We all know it as the thing we like to trash talk about. Apple tried to fix this by heading up in the AI game with Apple Intelligence. But all that did was more backlash. Apple's promises for Apple Intelligence were way too high that even they couldn't reach it, and gave us something that they did not promise. All they really did was, and I'm being brutally honest here, replaced Siri, gave it a glowing rim, and gave it the capabilities to ask ChatGPT things that it doesn't know. Now, to be fair, 20% of the time, Siri actually gets it, but the other 80%, it asks you, would you like me to use ChatGPT to answer that question? Here's just an example. One time I asked Siri, what's the time? No kidding, it asked ChatGPT. What is happening? Apple uses this to sell their products, and it needed ChatGPT to tell me the time. But now listen, it's not all just trash talk. There is some good things, like the new feature in FaceTime, where Apple Intelligence automatically translates languages for you in real time. Imagine your grandma speaks French, but you only speak English. Apple Intelligence translates it in real time for both of you, so you two can have a conversation over FaceTime. And then there's also the Meh, which Image Playground is Apple's image generation tool, or I like to think of Apple's try at image generation. Yes, it works. Yes, it doesn't have any major flaws, but it is very limited. ChatGPT, example, enter a prompt, get your answer. Apple, 20 items you can just smash together and you have to hope that's something you want. I guess Apple saw this, but they didn't approach it in an Apple-like way. Instead, like I see they have been doing with all of their AI, has made ChatGPT a part of Image Playground. You can now pick an option. Do you want Image Playground or ChatGPT? And I can bet 70% of users are gonna go to ChatGPT. What is happening? Apple, fix this. Just fix this. And finally, the final boss of the new software update, Liquid Glass. The update we have not been waiting for. Apple has just released their biggest design change since iOS 7, or their supposedly biggest design change. They say that this is the newest thing since iOS 7, a giant revamp. But it's the exact same with rounder edges. Nobody likes Liquid Glass. If you go on the internet, you can see everyone hating on it. And in my opinion, it's mid. There are some good things about it, like how in the Notes app, you get these new rounded edges, which look so much cleaner than a giant box. And then in other apps, you get this glass-like texture, which makes it feel more futuristic. And that's why in the start of the video I said it was 2030. So I feel this is a step in the right direction, just said in the wrong way. And like it or not, in 2 months, you'll have to. iPadOS 26 is bold, dramatic, and very liquidy. Good side, bad side, but overall, I just can't see why this was needed. Yeah, sure, we have some good new apps. Yeah, sure, we get Apple Intelligence upgrades. But in the end, this would have probably been the same as just adding some bug fixes and then putting some liquid all over the place in the form of glass. Anyways, like, subscribe, don't download the software update the second it comes out because I did and you probably should not, and watch another banger.